Paul Richardson is their leading receiver, wide receiver, with 85 yards. Josh Doxson through 2 games has 48 yards. Jamison Crowder with 40. Why is Alex Smith not connecting with the wide receivers downfield enough?
That's a good question. I think, like yesterday, and the hard part is you need to go back and watch like what the coaches film. So that comes out on Tuesday. I can watch that then, and you get a better feel. Just watching it, the broadcast version, there definitely were times yesterday where it was more of a too-deep soft zone, taking some of that away. But there definitely seemed to be times where there were some things available down the field that weren't taken. So I don't know if it was, feeling the pocket collapse a little bit more quicker because of some early pressure. I don't know. Clearly, the book on Alex Smith has been he will check down a lot. That's partly why he takes care of the ball so well. I think it's a mixture of that. I will say last week, that's what was available, and they moved the ball well because of it. So I didn't have a big problem with it last week. Took it away, or there were some things that were available that I was going to check down instead. So, but in looking at like through the first 3 quarters when I was watching this morning, it definitely looked like there were things that's like, again, soft, too-deep zone, taking some of that away. And then, had a shot to Doxson who can't bring it in, ball to Richardson who, couldn't hold on to it over the middle. So a couple of things like that. The one I'm surprised at most is Crowder. I thought he was going to be a bigger part early on. That's the one that really surprises me.
John, be divas. Is there any grumbling? It's early, 2 weeks in, but any grumbling from that room yet?
No, I wouldn't say yet, because they were pretty upbeat about what they had with him, with Alex Smith, throughout the summer and all that. So I think you have to kind of wait and see, because there's always grumbling with wide receivers, and there was the last few years, and there will be, I'm sure there will be, after they watch films like, geez, I was open here, Now, I don't know how prevalent that was, and that's, like I said, that's the hard part to go back and see just off a broadcast version of the game. But if they don't get more, I mean, listen, this is a big year for a guy like Jamison Crowder. I mean, this is a contract year, and I think it's a big year for Josh Doxson. I think he's got a ton to prove. So I think there is something with those guys where they need to get the ball. But and I think if you're like last week, I think you're going to be okay with some of that because you moved the ball, you controlled the clock, and you won the game. Yesterday, they had nothing going on, and that was the problem. And, I think the other thing, guys, is that, I thought the first down plays were horrible. And I think they gained, you take away the Crowder 25-yard reverse, it was like 12 carries, 14 yards on first down, something like that. And you're putting yourself in an automatic situation where you know where you're going to have to go. And they kept taking that away. So I think we have to wait and see on the grumbling part because there's just a lot more to learn about this offense.
Yeah, it's too early, and in week 1 there was no reason to complain because they were pounding the football.
They
were so successful.
I thought last week was a great week for showing who they want to be.
Right.
And the style of offense with this quarterback, I think that works well. And I think Alex Smith is a really good quarterback when you have a strong run game. And I know a lot of guys could be, but I think he does that very well. And that's when he's at his best. And they didn't have that yesterday.
Why were we so ineffective rushing the football? Were they simply just loading the box up? And it didn't look like there were many holes.
No, there weren't many holes, and a lot of times it was just guys getting beaten. They talked about how the Colts line was moving a lot and all that. Well, there were definitely some stunts that gave them problems, definitely some stunts. But that was, as much on the pass downs. In the run game, a lot of times, there were a couple things. Like, they used the jet action last week, and you could see Arizona widening, and you could see 3 guys on the backside being action, the fake jet sweep or the fake end around. Well, you didn't see that as much yesterday. I thought the Colts were pretty disciplined. There was a third down play that Chris Thompson, remember, where they fake a jet sweep and they do the backside toss to Thompson. Well, the slot corner on that side doesn't widen or doesn't come inside at all with the action of the play. Instead, he stays outside, and he makes the play because of it. So little thing, I think their discipline was pretty good. I thought their linebackers were really good. That Leonard kid, 53, is fast, but I thought they had a hard time up front, and that was the surprising part. And it wasn't just a couple miscues, but so did Brandon Sheriff, and so did Morgan Moses, so did Trent Williams. Jeremy Sprinkle, I thought, blocked well. Last week had a couple misses, but so I think it was, I think that was a lot of that, and they would get any kind of momentum would always be blunted because of some of those runs.